We're all time travelers. For instance, we move forward in time by 1 year between birthdays, and we're all moving through time at a speed about 1 second per second. But can we go back to our past? NASA claims that time travel is possible, but not in the way you might expect. Nothing can move faster than the speed of light, which is 186,000 miles per second, in accordance with Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, which states that time and motion are relative in one another. Time dilation is a phenomenon that causes time travel. Welcome back to Discovery Scene. Without further ado, let's get into our list. Number 1. A little golden watch. In 2008, a Chinese archaeological dig uncovered a 400-year-old tomb of Si King from the Ming Dynasty. As most people are aware, Si King was an absolute lad of a dynasty Hongwu ruler with #team ambitions. A little gold watch with the word Swiss engraved on the reverse was found by the archaeologists inside this supposedly untouched mansion of dirt and dead people. It was frozen at 10:06. It's unfortunate that the images that accompanied the Spark story were fakes that were digitally manufactured, because the tale that went viral on the internet may be evidence that time travels came to Earth hundreds of years ago. Number 2. Up next we have a photo of a hipster. The 1940s hipster who was spotted in a photo taken at a gathering in 1941 is shown here. The image appears pretty typical at first sight. It's black and white and depicts a crowd of people waiting in line at the Bra Lawn Pioneer Museum in Goldbridge, British Columbia for the South Fork Bridge to reopen. The majority of the population is dressed in 1940s era hats, jackets and tires. But this is where things start to get interesting. A young man in his 30s can be seen wearing what appears to be a sweatshirt, a t-shirt with some logos printed on it, and sunglasses. However, you can also make out that he is holding a camera in his hands. Although cameras were accessible in the 1940s, they did not resemble the ones that this man is holding today. Judging by appearances, this sort of camera appeared in the 1990s, which is nearly 50 years later. With all of this information, it was clear that this individual was from the future, possibly the 1990s, and that he had traveled back in time for unexplained reasons, demonstrating the reality of time travel. Number 3. Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin appears to be no different in these 3 images, which were taken at various moments in time across several decades. We've all seen movies where characters travel back in time to various eras. Vladimir Putin was photographed whilst dressed as a Russian soldier, but the time difference between these 3 images raises the following questions. Is Vladimir Putin a time traveler, a supernatural being who continuously defend his native Russia throughout history, or are these photographs simply of 3 men who, according to a particular website, all appear to be the same age? Pictures 1, 2, and 3 were all taken in the 1920s, 1941, and 2015 respectively. Although there are 95 years between 2015 and 1920, the man in 2015 appears very young for his age. Putin's supporters have even started a mission asserting that their leader has existed on Earth for thousands of years and is immortal. Whatever the case, it's still unclear whether Putin has too many doppelgangers or he's a time traveler. What do you think about this? Does time travel really happen? Have you noticed anything like this? What would you do if you had the chance to time travel? Let us know in the comments. Number 4. The Jourdain Incident. We can all agree that Eleanor Jourdain and 2 English scholars named Charlotte and Mobley were our greatest favourites. In 1901, they travelled to Paris in search of the Petit Trianon, which is a building on the grounds of the Palace of Versailles. The 2 women got lost, turned right instead of left, and wound up 120 years in the past, according to a book they wrote about their experiences. They observed dirty clothed farmers in an old farmhouse, and they also enjoyed cake whilst mingling with the lower classes and disregarding Marie Antoinette, since why not laugh at everyone in there? When it was first published, the book was a bestseller and was cited as evidence of time steps, but it was also heavily criticised for being illogical creation of fevered hallucinating minds. Number 5. Greek women. Around the world, archaeologists have found ancient artifacts such as stone statues, one of which looks to depict an ancient Greek woman operating a laptop. The statue, known as Grave Nescos, is kept by J. Paul Getty Museum in Malibu, California, and she has enthroned women with a companion. The object is referred to as a shallow chest in the gallery's far more modest description. The woman is seated on a throne and her attendant is standing next to her, holding what seems like a laptop with USB connections. Of course, the Greek woman was an ancient and lived at a time before the invention of smart devices, particularly laptops. This raises the question of how she discovered a laptop and whether it might have arrived in her possession via time travel. Have you heard about this? Are you a believer in time travel? Well, if so, you should subscribe to our channel, and also don't forget to click the like and bell icon so that you never miss another upload. Number 6. Andrew Carlson. This is an amazing one. Andrew Carlson is a self-proclaimed time traveler. Have you heard about him? The FBI detained 44-year-old Andrew Carlson in March of 2003. This man had the good fortune to make a lot of money on the stock market. The individual turned his investment of $800 into $350 million in just 2 weeks. When the FBI questioned Andrew because they thought he might be an insider trader or a con artist, Andrew said that he had truly gone back in time to the year 2556 and knew exactly how the stocks would perform. The man from the future made headlines in every newspaper, but the best was yet to come. The FBI conducted a thorough investigation and discovered that there were no records of Andrew's existence prior to 2002. Andrew was required to appear in court for the matter on April 3rd, but he never did. In actuality, he was never located again after that day. He once made a one-way trip back to the year he was born, never to return. One of the strongest pieces of proof that we might have for time travel is this. Has anyone seen him? Do you know what happened to him? Let's assume that he has traveled back. So many people still don't believe in time travel, but we are getting so many proofs daily. Maybe this all does exist. Number 7. The Philadelphia Experiment. Have you heard about this experiment? The Philadelphia Experiment was one of the most horrifying military urban legends ever, and it was used to support a number of conspiracies, including the idea that time travel was actually a reality. A top-secret experiment was being carried out in 1943 on the Cannon-class destroyer Escort to take control of the oceans from the Axis powers. The idea was to develop technology that would make naval ships undetectable to potential adversaries. Raiders. Although the experiment was planned to be tested at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, when will the study be finished? Witnesses indicate that as soon as the generator started spinning, an airy green and blue radiance emerged from the ship's hull. However, what happened next frightened everyone. According to eyewitnesses, the ship abruptly vanished. The ship vanished, briefly appeared in the Norfolk Naval Shipyard in Virginia, then reappeared in the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. Today, onlookers still ponder the question, was it a typical instance of time travel or possibly just an illusion? Number 8. Victor Goddard. Victor Goddard served as a Royal Air Force pilot during both World Wars. An air mechanic by the name of Freddie Jackson walked into a revolving propeller when he was leading a squadron during World War I, and he suffered fatal injuries. But everyone would be shocked by what occurred on the day of his funeral. Victor Goddard observed a suspicious-looking man in the first row of the crew when they gathered to take a photo, and it turned out to be Freddie Jackson. Goddard's first startling experience was this. A few years later, he was asked to investigate an abandoned Scottish airstrip in the community of Drem. When he arrived, he discovered that the airfield was only in partial ruins. Later, while returning to the aircraft, he encountered heavy rain and thought he should return to Drem and wait it out. However, as he drew near the airstrip, the rain stopped and was being replaced by bright sunshine. Goddard was shocked to see the same airstrip completely operating and repaired, and his jet was likewise painted yellow. When he returned, he claimed to have had a vision, but no one took him seriously. Nearly 4 years later, in 1939, the drum was fixed and put back to use. At that time, all RAF aircrafts were painted bright yellow. Did Goddard genuinely time travel into the future, or was it only a vision? So what do you think about time travel? Do you want to go back to a specific era? Well, if so, let us know in the comments, and also you need to click the subscribe, like, and bell icons. Now simply click on the left or the right video to watch them, and also refer to the other videos on our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.